everyone, this is 8 Sensei. No matter where we are, we often see children demonstrating positive and negative behaviors in places like a shopping mall, a restaurant, or even in a clinic. Some negative common scenes are that the child might throw himself or herself on the floor, kicking, screaming, crying, saying things like, I don't care, I want that toy. No, I don't want to go home. Do all this sound familiar to you? Does your child behave the same way? Maybe yes, maybe not. Even if you're not a parent, maybe a teacher, you will most likely experience it too. Or even if you're not a parent or a teacher, sometimes such an event may affect you as you sit in that restaurant or clinic. We can see how parents handle their children differently through situations like this. Some will reprimand their child on the spot. Some will choose to do it back home, and some will just ignore it. However, what many do not know is that, as a caregiver or a teacher, we can learn to prevent a misbehavior from happening. This brings us to our topic for today's video, the A.B.C guide. A.B.C stands for Antecedent, Behavior, and Consequence. The A.B.C consists of a chart and works as a guide to help any adult working with a child to gather information about an event that is happening in a child's environment. With the help of A.B.C, we can help promote or remove a behavior, improve a behavior, and teach a new behavior. Before looking into A.B.C, let me share with you a scenario, and after that I will explain the antecedent, behavior, and consequence using the same scenario. A child was brought to the shopping mall by his parents. They walk past a toy shop. The child sees a toy he likes and asks his parents to buy it for him. However, his parents think he has too many toys at home and turn down his request. The child throws a tantrum by lying down on the floor, crying and screaming. His parents try to comfort him and distract him with other toys, but none of them work. The parents decide to leave the mall and take the child home. Now, let's look at A, the antecedent. Antecedent refers to the condition or event that occurs before a behavior. It acts as a background for a response and consists of cues that allow an adult to know what behavior is expected of a situation. From the scenario, the antecedent includes passing by the toy shop, parents turning down the child's request, and attention from others, which includes strangers paying attention to the child's behavior. This leads to B, the behavior. Behavior means the response to the antecedent, a specific action that a child does, and often it is observable and measurable. Behaviors can be seen as both positive and negative. In this scenario, the behaviors were mostly negative. For instance, the child lies down on the floor, cries and screams and insists his parents to buy the toy for him. No matter whether it's a positive or negative behavior, it always leads to a pleasant or an unpleasant consequence, which brings us to look at C, the consequence. Consequence refers to the event that happens as a result of the behavior, and usually it determines whether the behavior repeats again or not under the same situation or scenario. We can see from the scenario, the child's parents tried to comfort and distract him. Unfortunately, it did not work. In the end, they had to leave the mall and take the child back home. So, how can we make things different or prevent negative behaviors from happening? It all starts with A, antecedent. You might want to study a little bit of your child to help you expect how your child might behave, especially in a new situation. If it's not a new situation, then you should already know the behaviors your child might present, because it will help both the adult and the child to avoid unnecessary tantrums and behaviors. Let's look back at the scenario. Assuming it was not a new situation and it happened before, the parents could have tried using a different route to avoid walking past the toy shop. This will allow the child not to see and enter the toy shop, demand them to buy the toy, throw a tantrum, and neither everyone have to leave the mall. If it's a new situation, you can try noting down and remember to do the necessary steps the next time. As we end, the A.B.C guide is not only to determine the trigger of a negative behavior, but it can be applied for both positive and negative behaviors. If the child displays positive behavior by helping to wipe the table after mealtime, the child gets an ice cream as a pleasant consequence. This guide is helpful also in determining the root cause of a behavior when two children can behave for a different reason in the same setting. Remember, when a child experiences pleasant consequences, the behavior is likely to happen again. As for unpleasant consequences, the behavior is not likely to happen again. That's all for today's video. Bye bye.